Man, final thoughts on these three candidates, man. Who do you want? Why do you like them? And yeah, let's just hear it, man. I'm turning it over to you.
I think Charles Lee is going to get promoted to the next Bucks head coach. I had posted a graphic out earlier. He's, I think, the second best odds to be the next head coach of the Bucks, and I had told you last week there's a good chance that could happen. Don't be surprised if he does get promoted. So I think you could kind of cross him off the list, possibly of just taking the Bucks job and keeping Giannis happy because they want to keep Giannis happy. I think you have these conversations with Jaren Collins or Kevin Ollie, and if I had to pick between those two guys, I'm taking Jaren Collins.
Ooh, okay.
Jaren Collins, to me, I did more research in it. Draymond Green spoke very highly of him in an article with The Athletic, talking about how he would spend time with us and he could really just break down defense, and he could make it really simple. He's like even like a two-way guy could pick it up. He's a defensive specialist. He's a defensive-minded coach, and I think that's why he's a finalist. And not only that, he was with the Golden State Warriors for 3 of their title runs. Versus Ali, he's actually he has NBA coaching experience. He's seen NBA basketball. Nothing against Ali. I think that he was a college coach. We have to give him that respect and that credit. He won a national championship, but I think if you're trying to sell to the fan base, hey, this is a guy that won 3 championships with the Golden State Warriors. This is a guy that has worked with Zion Williamson. This is a guy that's worked with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. I think you can sell that to the fan base more than, hey, this is a guy that won a national championship with UConn. And he doesn't have any NBA experience, but he was Allen Iverson's backup. And, he was with OKC. Like, to me, I think if you had to pick between Jaren Collins and Kevin Ollie, you got to go Jaren Collins, man. I think he's the type of guy that, he's just going to get this team playing better on the defensive end of the floor. And for me, I think that's something that I value more of a defensive-minded coach, and a coach that has, NBA experience. Nothing against Kevin Ollie. I think if he does want to be an NBA coach, maybe start off as an assistant, not just go to head coach right away.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards Kevin Ollie just for a minute because the NCAA violations are not that big of a deal. Like, if the NIL had been in place at that time, I don't think he would have been in trouble. But it's just that I know he's coaching the overtime elite, but that just kind of feels like a Harlem Globetrotters type league where it's like, you have the OTE. I mean, I don't know. It just seems kind of like I don't take it very seriously is basically what I'm getting at. And I'm with you, man. I would like to see Kevin Ollie on an NBA bench for like a season or two, because he has been away from the NBA game for a number of years now. He has not been a head coach for a while. Again, I know the OTE stuff, but again, like I just said, that's a fun league. The serious leagues, he has not been coaching in a while. So I gotta go. I'm with you, man. I think it's Jaren Collins. Like, I want it to be Charles Lee. I do. I mean, I don't know why, because I can't point to anything he's done as a coach, but it's just a good feeling about him. The way he interacts with his players from those clips that you have posted, those were great. You can see that he has a real relationship with those guys. And to your point, Jaren Collins, like a great defensive mind, worked with some good NBA players already. He's familiar with the game today, more so than Kevin Ollie. So I'm with you. I think this is Jaren Collins' job, and I'm kind of excited for him, man. I can't wait to see what he does in Detroit.
Yeah, I just have a feeling Ollie might be the guy, though. It's just...
Are you leaning towards Kevin Ollie, or you just think because of all the rumors and stuff?
Well, I personally want the guy that actually has experience and is known for his defense. I would love Jaren Collins in Detroit. It's sounding like Charles Lee is just going to take that Bucks job. And why wouldn't he? He's got Giannis there, right?
Yep.
It's just, you read, I had shared an article, Kevin Durant and LeBron have spoken very highly of Kevin Ollie. KD basically gave, Ali credit for the culture that is in OKC today. Still, he's saying that, during the rebuild when they were in Seattle / OKC, he was like a good locker room veteran. He was a guy that was professional. He taught them the ins and out of the game of, what to do on and off the court. So I even within that clip that I shared with the, Overtime Elite League, like, he's a very good speaker, but someone's just like, so was Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey was a very good speaker.
Yeah.
Dwayne Casey was very professional of how, he presented himself, but man, like I there's nothing against Ali. I think he would be a good coach, but I think I'd rather have a guy that has done it, for, a longer time, that, actually has experience, coaching in the
Yeah.
NBA. That's just my
No,
thing with it. It's just, I fear that, personal relationships may be involved, and that OKC connection is a real thing, and we know that. I mean, we picked up a guy on the waiver wire that was from OKC. We traded for Hamidou Diallo. Like, Ali has that OKC connection.
yeah, he just hasn't been he's been a head coach, like the OTE stuff. Like, but again, he last coached for UConn in 2017, 28. I don't know. I don't hate Kevin Ali because, like, I watched UConn basketball when he was there. I remember the national championship run that they went on, I think in his second year or something, where he did it. But it's just, I don't know, it just seems like he's been out of the NBA game for a long time. Like, he's more of I don't think he would struggle with it connecting with a young team. Like, I think Detroit would be a good landing spot for him because he's used to coaching younger players from the college to the OTE. And then, like, being on rebuilding teams like Oklahoma City, like you were saying. Like, so I think him connecting with younger players, that's a huge part of it. But I just think he's been out of the NBA coaching game for so long. He's just, out of these three, he's not my favorite. I'm not going to hate it, but it's just not my favorite. I'm with you. I'd rather go Collins. I'd rather go the defensive-minded guy. I'd rather go with the guy that's been sitting on the bench in the NBA, that's more familiar with today's game and how it's played. I want that guy as the head coach.
Yeah, like I think, he's a good guy, but it's just, if you were to hire Kevin Ali as coach, to me, if you wanted to keep a development coach, you should have just kept Casey, if that's the route you're going in. Like, if you want a development coach, there was nothing wrong with keeping Casey until his contract expired. Like, if you're just going to go, well, he was in OKC when I was in OKC, so that's why I'm going to hire him. I honestly think the fan base would be pissed off, personally, because, like I said, there's a lot of, names out there. Like, I had put out Sam Cassell. I think Sam Cassell would be a phenomenal coach, but the only team that interviewed him was Houston. Like I said, there's just so many names out there. Obviously, we hear Mark Jackson all the time, but I don't think that would ever happen in Detroit.
It's the same excuse, man. Hasn't been in an NBA team, hasn't been an NBA coach for a long time.
Yeah, like, give me the guy that has championship experience and has worked with guys like Draymond Green and Zion and Brandon Ingram. Like, give me that guy.